In the last bull market, when Bitcoin breached its previous all-time high, we saw parabolic action of several 100% increases in price. We've seen that we've just started to break out, and it's not exactly the same pattern. We have a lot more consolidation here than we had here. So actually, it could go up a lot more. And also, Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset for the central banks and governments could push it way above this estimate of 221,000 expected in May 2025. But there's a lot of things that you need to know. The key is we're just getting started, but what do you need to avoid all of these massive drawdowns? And of course, when you're an investor, you're an expert at buying and not so much at selling. These pullbacks look pretty easy, but that's more than 50%. And the alts during this period of time, when China closed down its mining operations, the alts bled, some of them by more than 90%. The key is to trade and also invest, or to invest and also trade. Traders are experts at selling and actually entering into trades. Investors are expert at holding on for dear life. Why settle for only one superpower when you can have both? And it's really time to look deep inside the crypto market to see how far we can go up. Let's do that, and let's run the numbers. This month, we've got non-normalized price, which means the upper and lower boundaries of some indicators are being updated. So you can see this little purple guy update available, or the background. You can just click that and update the script. And whammo, it's all done. Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the CTKS method. If you're new, a very warm welcome, and welcome back, CTKS family. Quite a while ago, we did some estimates out there for Bitcoin at the end of the month. We saw JP Morgan coming in very negatively at 45,000. Arthur Hayes, Blockstream CEO, 70,000. Robert Kiyosaki, 120,000. And Fundstrat, 180. Max Kaiser, 220. Kathy Wood, Tim Draper, 250,000. Michael Saylor, 350. Blockware Intelligence, 400. And Mike Novogratz, 500,000. It's not very long to the end of the year, and so if we look at the 31st of December, please let me know, what do you think will happen to Bitcoin, and where do you estimate it going to? This is really quite an important question because it will fuel your investment and trade decisions. If you feel that Bitcoin is going to go up to a certain level, you can plan for that. But being a trader and an investor is really important. I'll explain why. Ted Boyston has done wonderful work on Twitter/X, and he's just recently put out this particular chart, which he's been working on for quite some time. These are the 2012, 2016, and 2020 Bitcoin cycles, geometric mean, and standard deviations. What it's trying to predict is where things can go at certain points of time. Here we are right now at this point of time, but the standard deviation is throwing this kind of boundary upwards and downwards. The issue is, when you look at something like this, it looks fantastic. It does really look awesome. And if we're thinking that we may peak in September at 395,000, that would make a lot of people very happy. But just think about this. If you held all the way up to the 395, let's just say that that came true. It could come true, it could be more, it could be less. But if it did actually come true and then you saw it basically halve, now how would you feel then? This is something that we must bear in mind. Inside bull markets, we should expect 30, 40, even 50% retracements in price. Now, the problem with these retracements, we don't actually know if they're going up again. Sometimes they just hit a peak and they just fall, and we see that all the time. Now, Ted actually brought out some analysis on this little squiggly line in the background. I want to just highlight that for you. Okay, I brought this up here. It's called the Bitcoin Rainbow Wave, and it's a pretty good piece of mathematics. Let's just look in here and just do some interesting analysis. Let's look backwards for the first start. Now, what this rainbow wave does is it just tries to measure the exponential nature of the crypto market, and it does a fairly good job of it. Look at that, going all the way back. These variations are really capturing Bitcoin's price. Now, let's assume that they keep on capturing it. Sometimes they don't capture it exactly, and that's the way of all mathematics. But if we come up here, and we hit a peak and then we go down. Have a look at this. The lower boundary puts it at around 58,000. Now, does it mean it hits the lower boundary as it curls over? Maybe yes, maybe no. But the issue is, can you imagine if you were up here at 256,000 and then you held it all the way back to 62? One of the keys that you want to think about is to trade in and out of price behavior. Also, have an investment portfolio so you can take advantage of these big waves and momentums up. Definitely do that. But please be aware that when you get big exponential pushes in action, and if it comes all the way up to the top of that rainbow wave, guess what? It's going to retrace because it simply can't hold itself. And these retracements can be very, very violent, and they can be due to things not even related to crypto at all. And that brings us to another incredibly important point. Often you see retracements inside the markets, not because of the market itself, but because of the main markets. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, and this is something you really, really need to know. In your quest to master price action, it's very important you know what you're doing and you look more broadly than the crypto market, because the stock market, the bond market, and a variety of other markets all impact the crypto market. Now, what we have on ctksmethod.org is a free cheat sheet. I'm going to look simply into row 1, and I'm going to explain why Bitcoin pumped and then why it dumped. A lot of people get very swept up and caught up in the emotion of big pushes up, never realizing why exactly they're happening. And they happen for specific reasons. For example, in the past trading session, we saw the VIX absolutely crater. That pushed Bitcoin and the entirety of the crypto market up, and it surged up. You note it hit structural resistance and then it backed right down again. We also saw the 10-year absolutely collapsing, the 2-year absolutely collapsing along with the VIX. All of these things added fuel into the fire of not only Bitcoin and crypto, but also the main markets. And that's why the main markets too rallied. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't look at the cheat sheet, so they are not aware of the hidden dynamics, which are not really hidden at all. It's just that people don't look for it. And what did we see? The US 10-year started to recover, the 2-year started to recover, and the VIX started bottoming out. That put negative price momentum inside the crypto market, but also inside the stock market. There are 7 rows within the cheat sheet. This is simply row 1. In the course that's coming out, Profiting from CTKS Method Structure, I'll be going through and giving you deeper understandings on intercorrelation and interconnection. If you meet the requirements of the course, you get it absolutely free. That's US $700 for nothing. The link is in the description of this video. When looking at the markets, all markets are intercorrelated and interconnected, and so far from a market cycle perspective, we're looking pretty healthy. You should also be aware that's an election effect, especially in pre-inauguration. What we're seeing here, if the rally is going to fade when it comes up to inauguration, if that's the case, and it was the case between 1932 and 2020, we could be getting this really good, nice pump up. But after inauguration, for a certain amount of time, a retracement, and then followed by a rally. Fortunately, the time period here is really good in terms of end of year. The thing to remember is structure always matters. We can have a lot of different activities and global events that can cause the crypto market and the stock market to retrace, or conversely to rally, and we've seen a rallying recently. Please let me know in the comments, do you think we're heading to 221,000 for Bitcoin? And what do you think is going to happen to the alts? If Bitcoin is going up 1%, you can bet your bottom dollar the alts are going up 2%, 3%, even 5%. So if we're coming up all of this way, what do you think is going to happen to the alts such as ETH, Solana, XRP, ADA, and of course all the memes which were going nuts yesterday, especially Peanut? It's also really important to understand the intercorrelation and interconnection between a variety of different charts. If you've not got the cheat sheet yet, I suggest you download it. It's absolutely free and it's invaluable to look at the different charts. And the one thing that we saw just earlier, Bitcoin was absolutely plummeting down, but this structural support level caught it, just like those structural support levels caught it previously. The bears will be seeking to break Bitcoin down below the 88,500 mark and sweeping down to around the 86,100. The bulls will seek to take Bitcoin over $90,700 and then re-challenge the 92,800 level. I'd like to do a shout out to our incredible global family. If you're new to the community, a very warm welcome, and please subscribe. You'll find information here that is not shared on any other YouTube channel. We look deeply into the markets and we determine from a statistical analysis perspective where the buy and sell levels are. And if we look across total crypto market cap, the thing that we note is a very similar picture. At 2.824 trillion, there is a huge amount of structural support. So even if Bitcoin sold down, we would expect it to be caught around this specific level inside Bitcoin's price structure. This one is on a 15-minute time frame. And you can see it's approximately around the start of the 13th. In the new course that's coming out in December, I'll show you how to read between charts and how to look through charts as well. So on total crypto market cap, all of that structural support was around the 86,500 level. It's good that we have a couple of confluences of Bitcoin structural levels as well. So if the bears get their opportunity to push price down, it's unlikely that it's going to go below 86,500. But can you imagine trying to do this without any structural understanding at all? You would be looking at a chart like this and saying, it looks like a free fall. It's probably going to zero. And this is exactly why structure is so incredibly important. It tells us where the reversals can occur, and we knew the reversals could occur here anyway, and there's no preceding price action around these points to justify a reversal here except for structurally. And when we come down to around this 86,500 level, there is a lot of structural support on total crypto market cap just playing in there at the current time, as well as 2 levels of structure on Bitcoin. Therefore, the bears could have a little bit of trouble getting it below 86.5. But again, without structure, you simply would not know this. You could pop on a couple of moving averages if you want, but they don't relate to structure. Moving averages, Fibonacci retracement levels only deal with actual price. They don't deal with structure. There's another very important way that you use structural levels. When you're looking at structure, when you pop on the indicator, what you want to do is look towards the right. These rightward levels are projection levels. They're telling you where the smart money is going to come in and buy and where it's going to come in and create resistance. For example, we've seen some structural passes on the 88,800 level. Now, if those structural passes continue, we would expect it to move towards 90,700. What it does here is particularly important. If it fails structurally, that's a problem. But if it passes structurally, that's what we're looking for a bullish case scenario. Inside the course, I'll be talking about structural passes and structural failures quite a lot. Traditional, conventional technical analysis just doesn't see any resistance as soon as you reach and exceed an all-time high. It's just like open air, it's price discovery. But you've seen with what we talked about with just Bitcoin's levels, there is no price discovery. There is structure, and that structure is actually totally applicable. Bull markets are incredible things, and they're very, very volatile. Just always know that your opportunities in life reset daily. If you've missed one rally, you can just grab the next one. I think it's a very good idea to actually trade and also invest in this time. And if you're dedicated and committed, you will either win or learn and not blame. Because as soon as we blame, we disempower ourselves. Life is already hard enough. We don't want to add disempowerment to a problem. Instead, we don't let problems beat us, we simply solve them with positive excellence, and that's pretty much dust yourself back off and get back in the ring. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and please let me know in the comments what's your favorite verse in the CTKS Creed. It's a really cool thing to keep by your side and just keep yourself very positive. Kate and I look forward to joining you in the next video. Bye for now.